So on topic with that, I got signed with RCA. What was the deal with RCA?
Just like any record deal, you get a sum that is the entire fund for your project, right? Your recording budget, your marketing, your everything is in that sum. So when you hear such and such signs for, let's say $1 million, such and such signs for $1 million. Out of that contract, a certain amount of money goes to the recording budget, a certain amount of money goes to marketing, a certain amount of money goes to this, a certain amount of money goes to that, and you get an advance out of that $1 million. Typically 25%, 30%, even 50% if you really got the muscle for it. So you get that 300,000, 500,000, 200,000, whatever it is, and upon turning in your record, your next record, your first record out of however many you promised to them, they'll pay you another lump sum, right? But in return, for us, instead of a 360 deal, which is where record labels make money off of everything you put out, whether it's touring, merchandise, whatever, endorsement deals, whatever, they get a taste of everything. It was just solely for music, just solely for the music, and it was a split in our favor. Without telling you too much information or giving you exact numbers, it was the deal that focused just on the music, and it was a split in Brockhampton's favor. So we got more than what the label was getting. So I think the misconception is when people hear such and such signs for $50 million, they think someone handed them a check for $50 million. It's not how that works. You got a percentage, maybe 25%, maybe 50%, maybe whatever it is. Taxes come out of that. If you live in California, that's 45% tax. Your manager is 7%, your lawyer's 3%. And if you're lucky enough to have an accountant, that's probably another 3 to 4%, right? So if you do the math, you're walking away with maybe 30%, 40% of your money, right? You know what I mean? So, and then the culture we live in and music and living in LA kind of perpetuates this idea that you need to be something bigger than what you are. It's just it's a monster that feeds itself, you know, because people feel like they need to look or act or present themselves in a certain way when like the music industries can be an extremely unfair racket, right? It can be extremely unfair. And some people don't want to admit it for the sake of maintaining relationships with their label, or maybe how they'll look to their fans and audience. But I think it's important to say, like, don't believe everything that you read or that's presented to you online, because it's designed to be seen or viewed in that way. Mm-hmm. Everything you see has gone through editing, and bulletproofing, and unredlining, and all of these things. So by the time it gets to us in front of the screen or on print, it's not what it was.
Right. That's fair. Yeah. How did you celebrate the weeks leading to the tour after moving, after you guys got signed with the tour?
Oh, I think I went to Cabo. Mm. I went to Cabo. I went and stayed at a resort in Cabo and went fishing and just fucking disappeared from the world. Went on a beach somewhere. And I think even that wasn't weeks. It was like you got a weekend, you got 3 days, and everybody just kind of like scattered like roaches to go do whatever it was they were gonna do. And then we got back on tour. We were on tour for months, you know, like months in a bus. They were not easy tours, but because we all like were so close and all were friends since we were kids, and we were used to living really close and cramped, it made it so great. Imagine like if you have brothers or if you have really, really close relatives, it was like that. It was like traveling with your family, like on a tour bus. It was sick.
Oh yeah. What was one of your favorite memories from tour?
All of it. It was really sick. It was miserable while I was on tour because touring is hard. It's not even like. But when I look back on it now, it's super fun. Like, I got to skate in San Francisco, Portland. I grew up skating, so like I got to do so much shit that I thought awesome. Also, my favorite movie as a kid was Richie Rich. And like you got to really live like that, like on tour. Like what do I want to do today? Whatever the fuck I want. We have an off day, like, whatever I want. And then so it's fun.
Oh yeah.
A lot of fun.
on the other side of that, what could you say about the mental health in the music industry?
Oh, what can I say about it? It's not great. Um, That's the reason why you hear a lot of music about drugs, or about people's sadness, or about people feeling empty. Like, these people aren't lying to you; they aren't joking. Like, most people are getting on the mic and they're not even writing down what they're saying. So they're just going stream of consciousness straight from the heart out of their mouth. And like, if that's what they have to say, then that kind of tells you everything that you need to know. Like, people are sad and they're alone and they feel kind of empty. And I'm not going to pretend like I have all the answers for that, right? Like, I went to a behavioral hospital, kind of like a rehab, mental facility, whatever. And I realized there that, like, not everyone has the privilege of being able to sit down and sort through their shit. Not everybody has the privilege of being able to take a few years off and figure out who they are, and what they're doing wrong, or why their relationships are happening the way they're happening. And to be able to do that is extremely rare. And I don't want to judge people under any circumstances, because I'm 27 years old and I've made mistakes and I've gotten things wrong and I've gotten things right. You know what I mean? And like, I assume that everyone else is trying their best too. So like, it's not up to me to decide what you need to do or who you need to be. But if somebody's saying they feel pain or they're feeling fucked up, believe them and do the best you can to be there for them. And remember that, like, not everybody wants your fucking help right now. You know, like, somebody told me a long time ago, like, rock bottom looks different to everybody. It looks different to every single person. And like, you might be looking at someone else and be like, damn, like, they're at their lowest point, but it doesn't feel like that to them. And you gotta respect that. And as far as in the music industry, it can be really lonely being someone that people look at, no matter how small or how large. It can be extremely lonely because you feel like you have to be a certain person, or you have to be a set of qualities or whatever, and it's just not the case. You don't have to be anything except human. And like, you're not obligated to be the person you were 5 minutes ago, let alone 10 years ago, right? As long as you're trying your best and you do your best to be compassionate, understanding, free of harm of others, like, these are things that no matter who you are, if you apply them to your life, things will probably be a little easier for you. You know, I can't speak for everyone in every circumstance, but that's what made me feel better.
Piggybacking kind of off of that, you speak about it a lot in the past music and even in some of the stuff that's coming up. So how inevitable or how hard does it seem, rather than the substance, for people in your position to be almost consumed by a lot of different substances? You know what I mean? Especially
It is impossible. Listen, if you make art and you make music, it's not because you feel like the world is complete. You feel like something's missing, while you're making new things. So I think the next time that you see an artist said something or did something that you maybe don't agree with, remember that these are human beings. Like, you don't like most of the people you meet in day-to-day life. You don't like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't love every single person that you meet. You find a way to like them, find a way to appreciate them, you find a way to tolerate them, but you don't love every single person you meet. It's not the case. When you're driving through traffic, when you're walking through Walmart, when you're doing all those little tedious little fucking things, when you see other people, what are your initial thoughts? Are you thinking this is a human being with compassion, or are you thinking, get the fuck out of my way? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to be mindful that artists are that too. Except 100,000 people are in front of them every day. And now with the internet, it's 1 million people. It's 1 billion people. And it's like, how would you respond if the crowd at the mall, or the crowd at Walmart, or the crowd at the concert that's pushing too much and you feel uncomfortable? What if they were in your house? What if they were in your phone? What if every single thing that you had in life, whether it's good or bad, came from them? What if the home you live in is paid by those people? you'd be on edge and you'd feel a lot of pressure to please those people, and it's extremely hard to please the crowd, to please the horde, you know? Emperors in Rome couldn't do it, you know? Kings and lords of Europe, Africa, and all over the world have fallen at the hands of their people. And now, just because someone does something with their phone or something with their computer, they get the same kind of attention, the same kind of power. Most people don't know who their congressman is. Most people don't know who their senators are, your alderman. Most people don't know what the fucking alderman is or what they do. Most people don't know what constable is, but they know their favorite celebrity, right? And so, like, that's an extreme amount of pressure for people who, majority of them, have mental health issues. That's an extreme amount of pressure to place on those people. More than you place on the people who decide your day-to-day life and your laws and what you get to have access to and don't have access to. So, it can be very difficult to avoid that pressure, but the way that you do it is to remind yourself that you are human and you have the right to be wrong. You have the right to change. You have the right to do better. You also have the right to just plain fuck up. And just remembering that, no matter what other people impose on you, you have the right to all of those things. You have the right to be wrong. You have the right to fuck up. It's what you do afterwards, you know? I'm a 27-year-old dude, and the hardest thing I've learned how to do is look in the mirror and say, well, whoops, I fucked up. Like, whoops, I'm gonna have to do better. I'm gonna have to, the next time it comes around, I've learned from this, and I'm gonna have to do better. It's not one of the hardest things to fucking do in life. It sounds so simple, but that a lot of shit starts to unravel when you can take pressure off of yourself. Like, I don't have to be anything. I don't have to be anything.
I think that's really well said. In an unreleased song on Puppy titled Ready for War, on one of your final verses from the group, you ended your verse with.
God ain't give me a penny, I made $1 million. I got a thug for a father, so I took care of my mother. God threw me in fire, I walked out with my brothers. You know the shadow of death, I was born in the valley, but now I live in the valley. God gave me a house, God gave me depression. God gave us life, but we ain't know it was cursed. I was hurt as a child, you know I still deal with it. Now I'm a grown ass man with immature ass feelings. All I wanted was money, just to get it and spend it on strippers and weed. I skip on the liquor, I can't talk to my niggas, cause if I say it, it's real, and I ain't ready to face it. I've been flirting with Satan, I've been flirting with women that like to dance when they naked. And I throw all of my dollars, I throw all of my problems to the back of my throat with weed smoking Kalana, and I'm ashamed of myself. About 3 days ago, I planned on killing myself, but I'm still here breathing, you know I'm still here screaming, fuck that shit, we signed for 15 million, and I almost missed it. I know that y'all niggas hear me. Fall in if you feel it.
Tell me about that in that time frame.
Yeah, that was when I started going to therapy. I realized, like, I have something wrong. My sister had passed away. My sister was going through some health complications, and it got worse, and she passed away. And we were working on Puppy, and I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave work for that same reason that I felt like I needed to be making stuff. I needed to be making music because this was an opportunity that, like, I never thought I would have. I never thought that anything like that would happen. I was just making music. I was just making songs. I didn't think that any of that would happen. And it all felt like undeserved. So I felt like I needed to work. And I'm not taking blame off of myself or misdirecting. I take responsibility for my choice. I didn't go see her. And I wrote that verse on the day she passed away. The day I found out she passed away. So I was just kind of venting and like getting everything out. I was sitting on the back porch and I was crying while I was writing that. And then went back in the house that we had rented and recorded it. And it was it just worked. It just worked. It's still one of my favorite verses I wrote to this day. It's one of my favorites. When you look back on relationships, or when you look back on your past or how things have happened for you, it all seems so clear. Like, oh, if I would have just turned left, if I would have just turned right, I would have ended up in the right place. But life doesn't really work like that. Like, my grandfather used to tell me the past is perfect. It's perfect because you can't change it. You know what I mean? So you have to learn to accept it. And so because life is complicated and because so much of what we want is intangible and so much of what we want doesn't come from our purest self, it just comes from what we desire. Like that's who we are. By nature, we covet, we want. And not all of those things are good for us, right? And so sometimes when we look back we say, I should have done this or I could have done that, it's not in our pure self. It's not from our best self. And we have to realize that, like, control is an illusion, and life and your emotions are very similar. It's like an ocean. It's constantly churning, constantly flowing. And imagine if you saw someone on the beach and they were running into the ocean trying to hold back the trying to hold back the bad waves and let the good waves hit the beach. They'd look fucking crazy. And eventually they'd sit their ass down on the beach and just let the waves roll in. And that's how life is. You can't stop bad thoughts. You can't stop bad things from happening. You just kind of have to sit back and let it flow in, right? No matter what it is and no matter how difficult it is. And if you can make it through another day, you'll be all right. You can only manage one day at a time. I have no fucking idea what's going to happen 6 months from now. I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. I have no idea what's going to happen in the next hour. So, like, I have to focus on that, right? I have to focus on the next thing that I'm getting to. And that's what I meant, is life can seem so simple with hindsight and with all of these things in our ego and what we felt like we should have had and what we could have did. But life just is so much more complicated than that. So much more complicated. And what's most important is nothing is beautiful because it lasts forever. You know what I mean? Like, no life would have the presence or the weight that it has if it weren't temporary. If it were something that were there forever, it wouldn't be no reason to admire it. It's there forever. And we're the same way. Nothing in our lives, no relationship, no time, everything is in a state of change. So learn to embrace that, learn to be okay with the state of change. That's what's beautiful about it. That nothing will ever be the same. So savor the moments that you have. And it all sounds so like mystical and spiritual, and you hear a lot of this shit on the internet, but it's extremely hard to apply it in your own life. It's difficult. I don't even do it all the time. There are still times where I'm worried about where the future is going to go, and who am I going to be, and who am I turning into, and am I doing the right thing? Because I'm 27 years old. Of course I'm fucking thinking that. I've only been on Earth for a flash in a pan. Of course I'm unsure. Of course you're unsure. Of course you're unsure. Of course. It hasn't been that much time yet, you know? You got to scrape your knee a couple times before you figure out how to ride the bike, you know? And so, yeah, nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect except the past. Everything is temporary. Everything is in a state of change. And that's what's beautiful about it. The scariness of it, you know?
So what would you say to people that maybe haven't been as fortunate to get some therapy yet, whether they're younger or the same age as you, and are trying to figure out ways to, like you said, not stop those bad thoughts and like trying to figure out ways to just embrace them?
The best thing that's worked for me, and it works for a lot of people I know, is exercise. I know it sounds really fucking corny. I know it sounds so silly, but when you just take the time to take care of your physical body, whether it's just walking outside in the sun for 10 minutes or whatever the fuck it is, it's like, do something, move yourself. Like, it's going to at least make you feel better for a temporary time. And also, like, talk to people. You'd be surprised how much weight is lifted off of you when you can just talk to someone. You'd be really, really surprised. And also, you'll be surprised how many people don't judge you and how many people don't fucking care. They just don't fucking care. You can say whatever it is that you want with someone, and what's more important than how they receive it is that you got to say it and that you express yourself honestly and truly, right? And I say that to say, you're not always going to tell somebody what the fuck you got going on, and they're going to have the right thing to say back. Happens all the time. Happens with my mom. It happens with anyone in my life, right? And it's going to happen to you too. It's going to happen to everybody. But it's really important to remember, like, yo, as long as I'm honest and I'm not saying something to hurt someone, not saying something with malicious intent, then I can fucking let it go. I said it, and let it the fuck go.
So after leaving Brockhampton and your departure from Brockhampton, with conversations you had just kind of moving forward, is there like a conversation or something you had with someone that you'd like to shed light on that like really stuck to like move forward and better?
Shang, is there any moment I had with anyone from Brockhampton that like shed light or like?
No, not with them. After leaving Brockhampton, is there a conversation you had with someone to move forward and better that you'd always shed light on? Does that help?
Yeah, you know what? It's actually fucking really funny. I went to church with my parents. I like went back to Texas. I went to church with my parents, and I walked out of the service, like for whatever reason I walked out. And there was a guy like walking through the hallway, and he stopped me, and we sat down, and he was like, "Yo, I could tell you got something heavy on you, like, just come talk to me." And so we sat and talked for an hour, and he had gone to prison, and like he had gone through all these things. So he was like, "Yo, you don't have to tell me what it is that you got going on, but whatever you've done, I've probably done it or done more." And like, let me tell you, like, everything's gonna be okay. That's all he fucking said. And like, I go back to that church all the time. I haven't seen him since. I have no idea who he was. And I didn't realize it in the moment, but that was like the first step. Someone telling me that everything was going to be okay. Somebody that wasn't my mom, or wasn't my dad, or wasn't somebody like that. Somebody to be like, whatever it is, it's going to be all right. You'll figure it out. And I try to do that to other people now. I try to tell people, like, whatever it is, it's going to be okay. It may not seem like it now. It may seem impossible. It may seem insurmountable, but it's going to be all right. It's going to. Trust me.
Because you never know what that weight is on that. Yeah. Just to lift it up.
And it doesn't matter what it is. Whatever weight someone has on, whatever burden someone's dealing with, it doesn't necessarily matter. Most people just want to hear that everything's going to be okay, which is the truth. It really is. Given enough time, and they say in AA and like when you go to the mental hospital, like we sit in our own shit because it's warm. And it's like we all do that. Like we sit in our shit because it's warm. Because like sometimes it feels good to wallow in whatever the fuck you got going on. And like if you can get up out of that, like take a few steps, you'll instantly feel better.
Did solo albums or Brockhampton projects ever affect your personal rollout with the deal? After departure?
No. You mean like timing wise or like release conflicts?
I guess record deal wise.
No, not at all. No. Parts from Brockhampton didn't. No, not at all. We got straight into solo contract negotiations. I think within 2 weeks, we were already figuring out what the deal was.
So after departure, what did that look like moving forward with them? Because you guys had just recently signed.
A lot of paperwork. That was it. You'd be surprised, dude. Like lawyers and accountants and all of that. Like music is still corporate America, and like everybody's got a price. Everyone's got a price tag. And at the end of the day, it's about bottom line. Okay, so like it may have seemed from the outside that like everything halted and stopped.